After the chaos on the docks, only one person saw Jaune, and it was Blake. When everyone was taken in by the police, she was debriefed by Ashvin. And since Jaune has not spoken about her involvement, she decided to do the same. It's only fair. But she was more observant of a certain blonde and no fuck-off Bumblebee shippers. He was different than most students. One, he was more orderly. He was always on guard, always focused on some kind of goal, whether it be good or bad. She did not know. She can only assume it's good, because why would he be concerned with a criminal like Torchwick? But she did make it known that she saw him by thanking him one time to see a reaction. All he did was grunt and moved on a sign of acknowledgement, and also a reply to her, yes, so what? He was also apprehensive of her, and she didn't mind. Everything was proceeding well in the eyes of Vale, unknown that someone is plotting their downfall. Jaune, on the other hand, was now taking more information as Atlas has arrived to secure Vale. He was wondering what the hell were they thinking. It was then noted that General Ironwood has close ties to Ashvin as he went there for frequent visits. One such visit garnered his attention as he saw Atlassian propaganda being spread amongst the populace, as he saw the introduction of the new Atlassian night models, and also the first walker he has seen. Unknown to Jaune, the development of walker technology was already in its final phases. The Ministry of Truth is keeping it under wraps just in case of any form of theft. Jaune was now more filled with tension, as it seems like it was the signs of a potential takeover, but more underhanded. The Federation plans on announcing its existence and offers the kingdoms a choice to join or decline. If they did decline, the reports about their failing system will only make the people wish for the better one. Those who are wanting for a change can join them and leave the stagnant fools to die out with their outdated beliefs and systems. It was a battle for relevancy. But all is not well in Vale, as somehow Roman Torchwick escaped, and it was thanks to a certain ice cream midget. He was back on the streets, and that was the final straw that pushed Blake to take matters into her own hands. Believing that she was complicit at the change of the Fawn, she asked her team for help in taking him in. They planned on how to take him down a ruby, and Weiss was on their way to the CCT, while Blake infiltrates a rally that was scheduled a few weeks before the festival, and Jan went to find some dirt on them from a certain bar owner. Jaune was also at the CCT gathering all the information he needed to send to the ministry, as it appears that something big is going to happen. Call it intuition, soldier's experience, be it instincts or current events as he learned in battle. Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action. Ruby found him and chatted him up as he multitasked copying files and sending it out. Weiss thought that Jaune might have been taking info for the festival contestants and decided to leave him to it as she drags Ruby away. Jaune just narrows his eyes at the team, seeing that there was a shift in their behavior recently. He felt something was going to happen, so he finished all the transfers and decided to tail them. He left and got his items from the dorm, eliciting the question of one Pyrrha Nikos, as she found it off that he has been more closed off as of late. Pyrrha, Jaune, is something wrong? Jaune, nothing. Sudden emergency. Pyrrha, is there anything we can do to help? Jaune, nothing as of yet. It's a personal matter. While I'm gone, you're in charge. Pyrrha, but I can't lead like you do. Jaune, you need to learn. If something happens to me, our team is nothing but a headless chicken waddling about. Pyrrha, but Jaune, no buts before I kick yours.
Pyrrha, sorry.
Jaune just pats her head. Jaune, hey, we all need to step up one of these days, and it's about time you do. Pyrrha felt encouraged by Jaune's trust and promised him she'll do so. He then leaves for the lockers. Once he was there, he pulled out standard issue Helldiver gear, but not marked with any identifying marks or the cape. He can't blow his cover yet. He then proceeded into town, garnering some wandering eyes as to what he was wearing. He looks like a soldier, but no one knew where he came from. Once on the streets, he hears panic as he looked to see Blake running away from a clunky-looking mech similar to the Paladin. And she led it into the streets that caused Jaune to break somewhat his cover, as he pulls out a ball and types into his gauntlet pad. Down arrow, left arrow, down arrow, up arrow, right arrow, as he threw the stratagem into the park discreetly into the bushes, so no one can find the pod. Jaune, calling down support weapon. Then he chased after the rampaging mech. He then saw it flip over vehicles as Blake used them as platforms, and that pissed him off. He took out his scroll and called every ambulance he can get to the freeway. After that, he rushes to end this as fast as possible before human and faunus casualties pile up. Meanwhile, below the freeway, where Team RWBY squares off with Roman. Roman, all four of you against one of me. That isn't fair. Yum. Go cry about it. Roman, not fair for you. You should have brought more toddlers with you. Blake, let's take him down now.
Ruby, alright. Bum.
Then something flew over them and hits the Paladin square on the cockpit. It wasn't enough to penetrate, but it did some damage as alarms blare inside the cockpit. Roman, act. What hit me? Team RWBY looks at the source of the shot and saw one lone Helldiver marching forward slowly as he fired repeated shots from his autocannon. As massive shell casings fell to the ground with a satisfying ring, Jaune made sure to concentrate fire on the limbs, disabling its weapon systems. First, he blows off the arms, expending his entire clip, and he immediately reloads. But it was slow. Roman regained momentum and deployed missile launchers, surprising the Helldiver with hidden weapons and sent them towards Jaune, and as he was a sitting duck, blowing him away, breaking his leg. Jaune, ARGH. My league. He then pulls out a stim and heals himself up. The veteran diver stood and finishes reloading before Roman could send another volley. The heroic diver then blows away the last of the Seeing this stirs memories from Ruby's past as she remembers a young Helldiver bearing similar armor saving her before. The glass of the cockpit breaks as Roman scrambles to escape. Roman, give me a break, soldier boy. Before he could crawl away, a boot stomped on his back with the Helldiver holding a revolver in hand, ready to finish him off. Weiss, no. He must stand trial. Jaune, he is. In a gruff voice to mask his identity.
How do you plea?
Roman, can we talk about this? Jaune, the people you harmed in the freeway will want justice. I judge you to be guilty. Sentence death. He aims the revolver at his head, making sure it's final. But when he's shot, he's shattered into glass. Then we hear a bullhead taking off as Neo saved the wannabe thief yet again. Roman. Well, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen, and Ice Queen. Until next time. Jaune, get back here. He aimed the autocannon and fired on the retreating craft. Roman, Neo, get us out of here before he shoots us down. She nods and makes a safe extraction. Jaune just screams in frustration as Team RWBY carefully approached him as he dumps a smoke grenade and dived out. Jaune alone is not enough to save this kingdom, and it seems that this report will force the Ministry of Truth to take action.